Oh,
Good morning. Thank you for
There
honoring
he
us with your
is, the
presence.
man, the legend,
in
the
my
red
own,
vest.
in my own mind, yes. Gail,
Hi, Les.
how you doing, Craig? What
Oh,
are you up to?
your sound is not working.
I just
see
wanted to
you,
say I'm waiting in a doctor's
but I
office.
can't
That's why I
hear
got
you.
my mask on.
Oh, okay. That's
We
great.
can hear
I
him.
still can't
Cover
hear
your
you,
nose
Les.
too. Cover your nose. It's not, yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Very
I
good.
see you.
That way I don't have to spray my computer. Very good.
But it's weird. It doesn't even say that your thing is muted. Oh,
I'm-
it's me.
Yeah, you're the
How
one
could it
that's
be me?
muting me.
Oh.
Liz Brown, good morning, man.
Good morning. How are you, Woody? What are you up to?
Well, bringing our company out in the world to help disabled people, empower them, get them grants, and who's disabled? Just about everyone that says they are.
Oh,
Mm.
God.
Oh, wow. Well, you're doing the greater work, and we thank God for you.
Well, help me out, bro, whenever you get a chance. I love your mojo, and you're an inspiring man, really.
Are you talking about me, Woody?
Hell yes, boss.
Hi, Les. Now I got everything working.
Very good.
I'm like, I see everybody's unmute, and I'm like, what's wrong? It's me. It was me. It was me. All right. Well, we are honored today. Les, thank you so much. How are you doing, by the way? I haven't talked to you in a little while.
I'm doing extremely well. I'm just really concerned that I don't have the little hair coloring that Woody has at the top of his head. You
Woody's got
know.
that orange thing going.
You know, he has so much flair. No.
And he wears a different pair of glasses every day. I want to be Woody in another life.
Oh, that's what when I grow up, I want to be Woody myself. Let the record show.
So,
Follow me and I'll set you free.
All right.
So Les, where are you these days? In Atlanta? Are you still there?
Yes, I'm in Atlanta.
Very nice. Please tell everyone in Atlanta that I said hi.
I most certainly will.
I
Thank
love
you.
that. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, most people are still filing in, but we're going to get started because out of respect for Mr. Brown's time, we are just going to get going. So this is what I'm thinking, Les. This is what I'm thinking. So the pandemic is happening. It's almost over, God willing, maybe, hopefully. And so everybody has been working on their business during the pandemic. We have a lot of speakers on here, a lot of authors, a lot of coaches. And, the speaking world has been, the live events have been obviously not as present as they used to be. But so what do you think? Can you motivate our group or inspire our group to say to inspire us or motivate us to take what we've been doing over the last year and a
I
half.
want you to take a deep breath, Craig.
Yeah, I know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, take a deep breath. It's okay. Yeah. Hey, Woody, you have just got him all upset,
Oh, I gotta take her glasses shopping.
Yes.
Hey, it's early. It's early, man. Basically, like we've been stuck for like 18 months. Everyone's been like stuck for 18 months. How do we get unstuck knowing that the world is about to open up again, hopefully praying that it's about to open up again? That's where I want to go today, Les.
Well, I'm praying, first of all, that I'm just excited that you've invited me. It's been a long time since I've talked to you. I love you very much. And it's always my pleasure to work with you, to serve you and the people that you work with. So I want to thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm praying that you don't repeat those words that people are stuck, because they're not. I'm reminded of a little boy who was going through a park, and he saw a very interesting sight. He saw a butterfly struggling to get out of a cocoon. And he watched with childish fascination as the butterfly was struggling and struggling and struggling. And then it finally escaped, fell to the ground, fluttered his wings, and then flew off. And he came upon the same experience in another part of the park. And as this butterfly just had its little head out, trying to get out of the cocoon, this little kid in childish naivete, he took a safety pin and made an incision to help him get out. And the butterfly fell to the ground, fluttered its wings, and died. Because the struggle itself gave it life. This place where we are in the pandemic is a cocoon. I don't care how fast a caterpillar can run, it can never fly. This place where we are, it can refine us or it will define us. This place where we are, millions of people are told, you can go home until things get better. And then they said, okay, you can come back now. And millions of people said, no, I don't want to come back now. You'll lose your job. I don't care. I don't want to do this anymore. Because millions of people begin to look at their lives and start looking at some other options and start developing the inborn greatness and potential and talents and skills that they had and said, I want to create a life that's me. I want to come back there anymore. I want to take a chance on me. And so they said no. And that's why this period is just an incredible period that we get still, we go within, seek ye first the kingdom of God, his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. When shall it come? The kingdom of God is within you, people going within, and they realize within they have the power, authority, and dominion over anything that's presented to them by life, and that they have been procrastinating. They have been, for the most part, dying a life that wasn't them. And so people are thinking, they're looking at their relationships. The divorce rate increased by 40%. Where people are looking over someone they've been with for years and realize they've been dying together rather than living together, and singing a song by Erykah Badu, I feel lonely whenever you are around. Oh, behave, hello. This is a special place. We've gone from brick and mortar to click and order. This is a special place that if you have a book, you have knowledge, you have a voice, you have skills, you have talents, that you can make money from the comfort of your home. And so people that are taking advantage of this, by my daughter, Dr. Ona Brown, she said that gaps are from God. That we're still here. Over 70,000 people are out of here. But we're still here because of God's grace and mercy. We're still here to do the greater work. We're still here because there's something in us that we're supposed to do. That's why we're still breathing. That's why we got up this morning. I had a friend of mine, he was talking to me and he said, man, I see you all over the internet. He said, man, you know what? He said, I'm proud of you, man. We're both 77, but you're still working. I said, yes, I am. I said, let me ask you, what are you doing? He said, oh, I live my life. I said, excuse me, we both 77, am I right? He said, yes. Are you calling me from the cemetery? He said, no. Are you taking a dirt nap? I didn't know people from the cemetery had phone privileges. And you're calling me saying, you have lived your life? Come on. Somebody's told you and convinced you at 77 that you're old now, you need to become a spectator, you need to become a fan, you need to go to the bench. No, we should finish strong. You should be a robber. We should be looking for, using our wisdom, our former years, as we look at ourselves, will be nowhere near as powerful as our latter years. Why? Because we have wisdom. And so therefore, we've made all the mistakes. So we ought to be able to get some of this stuff right up in here. And nobody has the right. I had to deal with my youngest son. He fired me from my own company. I had to put in applications at McDonald's at the post office. I said, y'all got to work for a 77-year-old man. But listen, this is a time for us to rethink our lives. Life is full of disruptions and transformation. When we are disrupted, we have to transform ourselves to accommodate what has taken place. We have to deal with it. We have to handle it. Life is a fight for territory. And once you stop fighting for what you don't want will automatically take over. And so this is a special place. We've been picked out to be picked on because we got it like that.
I know.
Simba, you remember Lion King. Simba, you're more than that which you have become. And so the reason that you have this mastermind, the reason that people gravitate to you, Craig, is that you have this mastermind that's designed to help people to get in touch with, to access the greatness that they have within them to go to the next level. And that through the collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships, this experience that you have in this mastermind, take them to a place in themselves that they can't go by themselves. Amen. That's the power of relationship and community. And so, and my latest book is called You Gotta Be Hungry.
Yeah.
You can't be casual now. Life is coming for us. It's coming for us. It ain't playing. When you're living in a time you can swap air with someone and die. Now, you know, we talking about, I know people who breath smells so bad it's kicking like Bruce Lee. But to die, come on, somebody. You can't make this stuff up.
Oh, that's so funny.
Come on. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, behave. So we have to move with a sense of urgency. You know, Michael Jackson said, this is it, but it was not the it that he had in mind.
No.
And so as we look at ourselves, look at where we are in and out of the pandemic, people who don't see what's going on and understand that God is in the midst of it and that there's a reason for them to be here, that they were created by the Creator to create, to do the greater work. If they don't understand that, people who don't understand the experience that you're creating and the tools that people will have and the relationships that they develop in this mastermind, if they don't understand the value of that, they have skinny children.
I agree.
Life ain't playing. I'm coming for y'all today. Y'all can tell that. I ain't playing with y'all. I'm coming for you today. Let the record show. I will get the butter from the duck. Don't you let this 77 fool you. Yes, I got a squirrel friend. His name is Tyrone. I've taught him English and he's taught me squirrely. Give you a little taste. He just said, I love working with Craig. That's what I'm talking about. See, you gotta be bilingual. You gotta be inclusive. You got to be universal today. And so this is a time people are creating all types of businesses. People are rethinking their lives. People are looking at themselves and saying, what is it that I want to do now? I remember a friend of mine was going across Europe and the different places that there are soldiers who boarded the train and asked a question. Who are you? Why are you here? And where are you going? And I pose this to all of you that I'm looking at you. Who are you? Why are you here? What was it about what Craig brings, the magnetic personality, the charisma, this mastermind during this place, one of the most disruptive times in our lifetime, that you decided, wait a minute, I need to unplug from the world. Be not conformed to this world, be transformed by the renewing of the mind. You realize you had to unplug from the world, because what you tune into, you turn into. So you have to unplug and get still and go within and find out what's in your heart. Life is hard. It's H-A-R-D and it's H-E-A-R-T. And you've decided the reason you're there, I want to live from my heart. Where your heart is, there your treasure is also. What's in your heart? What is it now that you want to do? Because we know that life has no duplicate. It has no warranty. And so as I talk to you as a 4th stage cancer conqueror for the past 29 years, the Cancer Centers of America, they're going to give me a presentation about a relentless fighter of cancer. And I said, I'm not a relentless fighter of cancer. I said, I had a defining moment. And they asked me, what was it? I said, my mentor, Mike Williams, who wrote the book called The Road to Your Best Stuff. It's a book worth getting, The Road to Your Best Stuff. He came to my house when I was diagnosed. And after a few months, my PSA, which stands for prostate specific antigen, 2,400. That's what it was. 1 to 4 is normal. And they said cancer metastasized to 7 areas of the body, including the T1 vertebrae, and eaten 43% of the T1 vertebrae. And he said, Brownie, you're going to die. I said, Mike, why would you say that? He said, I see you taking all these herbs. I see you desperately doing all these things to live. He said, why should you be here? What difference will your life make? What impact? Everybody want to live, but why should you? What is it unique about you, about what you're going to do going forward, that you should be here, that they should push back the time before you expire and leave here? He said, that's all I got to say. And he left. And I started thinking that all of my time and energy, I was driven by fear. Zig Ziglar said, most people in a fearful situation, they forget everything and run. But there's some people in a fearful situation, they face everything and rise. And I realized, hey, I got a fight on my hands. And I remember Dr. Alfred Golson, he told me, you know, I don't tell my patients they're terminally ill. What I say is that my knowledge, my abilities, my skills have terminated now. You and God, you two, y'all determine the prognosis. I can only determine the diagnosis. So what are you going to do with the rest of your time here? And I decided I'm going to live full and die empty. I'm a robber. I'm going to rob the cemetery of my voice, of my story, of my gifts, of my leadership, of the things that I want to do with my life. And that's what those of you that are here looking at me now, you decided to be a grave robber, to live full and to die empty. Dr. Howard Thurman, who was the mentor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Albert Schweitzer and Mahatma Gandhi, he said, the ideal situation for a man or woman to die is to have family members praying with them as they cross over. He said, but imagine, if you will, being on your deathbed and standing around your bed, the ghost of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities, the talents, given to you by life, but you, for whatever reason, you never pursued those dreams. You never used those talents. You never wrote that book. We never heard your voice. We never experienced your leadership. And there they are standing around your bed, looking at you with large, angry eyes, saying, we came to you, and only you could have given us a life. And now we must die with you forever. And the question is, if you die today, what dreams, what talents, what abilities, what skills will die with you? They said most people that die at age 25 and don't get buried until they're 65. Walking, breathing corpses. Live full, die empty. And you came to this mastermind because there's something in you that imprisons splendor. There's something in you. The fort, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves that we are underlings. There's something in you. If there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. There's something in you, greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world, that is urging you to keep moving in spite of the pandemic, to continue to be a pencil, as Mother Teresa would say, in the hand of God, and start writing a new chapter with your life. This is a time. This is your time, and you know it. Most people, they go to sporting events. Why? Most people are fans. They're not players. You're here. You have been attracted to the voice of Craig because you're an architect. You are not willing to settle for life as it is. You want to live life on your terms. I remember seeing this movie, The Truman Story.
Love it.
Yeah. What was the guy's name who was the star in that?
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey. His life was real. Everything else was a setup. He discovered it, and he decided he was going to escape. And the person who orchestrated and put it together was asked the question, do you think he will leave? And his answer was no. And they asked, pardon me, why not? And he said, most people accept the life that they have been given. When I hear about a Korean soldier in North Korea riding around on a Jeep and with his comrades patrolling an area to prevent people from leaving the country, and he decide to jump off and go for it, knowing that his friends would probably shoot him in the back, and they did. He took 5 bullets in pursuit of a better life. He jumped off that Jeep in the spirit of Patrick Henry. Give me liberty or give me death. I'm not dying here like this. Next time they circle, I'm getting out of here. And there are people who are living a life that's not them. That's not them. They're living what Darren Benzie will call a misplaced life. Monday morning, the heart attack rate increases by 35%. People dying, getting ready for a job that's not them. And most of them die on the toilet. And so, but now during this pandemic, people are rethinking their lives. And that in order to accommodate and to deal with it, things that at first happened to us, but then we realize they happen for us. They happen for us. It brought something out of you. Some people, it's okay, but there are those of you here, you say, oh, hell no. I ain't through yet. I told my kids, and they say I'm dead, tell them don't embalm me for 3 days and sneak down there in the morgue and put a microphone in my hand. And if I don't grab it and sit up and say, you gotta be hungry. Say, Dad gone now. He gone, he's out of here.
That's awesome.
Oh, behave, hello. Woo!
Oh, that's funny.
You know,
Les, you're on fire today, man.
oh man, let me tell you, man, I'm serious. You know, it's interesting. This thing called life is fascinating. I said, I got a text. It was jaw-dropping. Dad, your services will no longer be needed. Are you kidding me? Yep. No longer be needed. I taught you everything you know, but I didn't teach you everything I know.
Uh-huh.
Don't you let this 77 fool you. I still got a good right hand up in here, up in here. But you about to make me lose my mind up in here, up in here. You about to make me act a fool up in here, up in here. But it was a good thing because it stirred something up in me. You know, no one wants anything taken from them. And so I'm more conscious of my health because I don't want to be a burden to any of my children.
Oh gosh, no.
I know that, you know, my oldest son, I can stay with him for a week, and then he gonna say, Patrick, I think you're gonna have to come and get him. And then I'll be with Patrick, and he can say, you know what, Dad? It's been 2 weeks now. I think you need to go back and stay with John Leslie. And John Leslie, you know, you got to start asking who's gonna wipe my behind. He'll write a rap song about it, but he ain't gonna wipe it. He ain't gonna wipe it. No. And then my daughter Sarita, she'll pay somebody to wipe it, but she ain't gonna do that. And Ona, she will faint if she looks at it. So I said, wait a minute. I said, I've been working on getting a 6-pack. I got 1-pack right now, you know, got a t-shirt that says 6-pack coming soon. And so, so I just, you start looking at, you know, friend I called the other day and he was gone. And so it causes you to realize, I remember being in Caesar's Palace, Gladys Knight and I were married at the time. And I heard Frank Sinatra say to a friend, live each day as if it were your last, because one day it will be. I just connected with my birth family. Here I am, 77. And I just saw a picture of my birth mother, Dorothy Bell Rucker, and my father. Always wondered, what did they look like? Always wondered, what did they do? My father, he was just an average dude. My mother, Dorothy Rucker, she was an educator. She played the piano, she sang, and she's a motivational speaker.
Huh.
You gotta be kidding me. And her mother, Beulah Rucker, she's a motivational speaker in Gainesville, Georgia. And they have the Beulah Rucker Museum. That's my grandmother? Yes. Oh boy, she is a powerful speaker. She was friends with Eleanor Roosevelt. Wow. My goodness. But I look at my 3 brothers, 2 brothers who were raised by her directly, and my twin brother, and I'm dramatically different from them. It's amazing how you can be raised in the same circumstances, same house, and end up being dramatically different. People say, it's just in your DNA. No. Everybody, we all have greatness in us. But if you're not willing to put in the time, like what you're doing, and focus what you're doing, and the effort, what you're doing, to develop that greatness, it will die with you. And most people aren't going to do that. Most people rather be a fan. There's three kinds of people: those who make things happen, those who watch things happen, and those who don't know what happened. And so I asked God, what am I supposed to do with this? And I heard this voice that say, keep searching. My son, my oldest son, he did a search and found them. Read about her, your grandmother. And they had this article. Now, mind you, my book is entitled, and everybody know Les Brown, You Gotta Be Hungry, How I Became a Disc Jockey. And in the article, they said, Beulah Rucker had a hunger to read, a hunger to learn. Black people were not allowed to go to school in Gainesville, and she taught herself how to read from the newspaper that was used to insulate the walls in the cabin where she was. And then she taught other Black kids how to read, and then she trained and taught veterans how to read. And then she built her own school. She was an unstoppable woman. She built a building. I sat on a porch that she built this house. They said she did it with a saw and a hammer. I'm sitting on this bench. She got up early in the morning because women were not allowed to do that kind of work. Building in the morning and late at night so people would not see her. She was hungry to leave her mark, to make a difference. In everything that's going on right now, in the distraction economy, the reason that you're watching me now, the reason that you're in this mastermind now, is because there's a hunger in you to live full and to die empty. There's a hunger in you to use your talents, your voice, your story. There's a hunger in you, there's a listening in you that realize that the story you've been sitting on, somebody's waiting on. There's something in you that says, this just can't be it. That life is more than just working and getting a lot of money and paying the bills and all the stuff that people brag about. They got the big boats and the airplanes, and they got the big cars and big homes. You say, no, that's nice. But there's a spiritual dimension. There's a part of you that says, I can do more. And there's got to be more. A man's reach is to supersede his grasp. Or what are the heavens for? Socrates. So I applaud you for this time, for this moment that you have blocked out in this mastermind to connect with the greatness within you. And when you're pursuing your greatness, you don't know what your limits are. So you act like you don't have any. You keep stretching. You realize that hunger must be fulfilled. That hunger realizes that you will fail your way to success. That hunger will find a way or make a way. That hunger disregard the fact that you're in a culture that will deny you or dismiss you or demean you and demonize you. and that you're going to find a way to make it anyway. You become a no matter what person, because that hunger, those who hunger and thirst after righteousness, they shall be filled. So, Greg, I'm through speaking. What questions do you have?
Well, I just want to say a million things right now. I will never, ever use the word stuck again. But this is what I want to say. God totally intervened last night. I had a speaker today lined up, and they had to cancel. And I text you at, I don't know, about 8 o'clock last night, and I say, Les, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. I had a very tough month. My father passed away.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Yes, thank you, sir. My wife and I, my whole family got COVID. It was a very weird 3 weeks. We were very depressed. Something happens with COVID to your brain. You get depressed and you lose hope. And you guys know me. That's not me. But when I had COVID, I was going there. My mom's in the hospital, and my son. It's a whole story that I'm not going to get into. Basically, got thrown out of the band that he's been in, and it's a very weird greed story. But all this being said, I text Les last night at like 8 o'clock, and I say, I haven't talked to him in a long time, and I needed this message today, me personally. And so, I was like embarrassed to ask Les at the last seconds, because usually, he's busy and stuff like that. But to his credit, and to whatever relationship him and I have, and I love you dearly, Les, the fact that you said yes last night was a God thing. And because
I didn't say yes, I said absolutely.
Yes, he said absolutely anything for you, my dear, or something like that. Yep.
And I moved my schedule around to be available to you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a time. Collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships are very important. Mm-hmm. This is a time that you want to have a relationship with people that are going in the direction that you're going. Iron sharpening iron. People that you consider your bread and butter people. Let me explain that. A guy named Sid Simon came up with this concept. A bread and butter person is a person you can call 3 o'clock in the morning and say, my car broke down. And they will say, where are you? Mm. But if they're not a bread and butter person, they'll turn the light on and say, do you know what time it is? You better call AAA.
That's awesome.
Yes, I did that. I test my friends to find out who are the bread and butter people you need to know.
Yeah. Well, I'm your bread and butter person, my friend.
Okay. Well, I got a speaker training going on. I'm doing one-on-one coaching with people now. Teach them how to take their story and how to develop a national and global impact with this.
Hey, how would someone partake in this? What's the first step they would take if they wanted to do that?
They could email me and say, Greg told me at lesbrown77@gmail.com.
I'm gonna, you're giving
I do it with a limited number of people, lesbrown77@gmail.com.
All right,
I want to show you something.
I'm putting that in the chat.
Everybody on here need this coaching. Why? Because the majority before the pandemic, online workshops, seminars, podcasts, a $77 billion business.
Yep.
So what I'm going to do right now, who am I looking at here?
Well, there's 40.
Sandra, raise your hand.
Sure. I'm here.
Okay, very good. Sandra, I want to ask you, what do you do?
I teach people how to have peace of mind online so they don't have to worry about scammers, cyber monsters, and cybercrime.
How do you do that?
I do that through speaking, through my books, through courses, and through my passion for a better life online.
Do you have a book?
I do have 3 books.
Okay,
One book,
what's
yeah.
the first book you wrote?
Happily Ever Cyber.
Happily Ever Cyber.
Yes.
Do you
So-
mind if I ask you a question, please?
Absolutely.
I want you to think about a defining moment in your life.
Mhm.
Denzel Washington was in a movie called Touch, and he said there's before this and there's after this,
Yes.
and after this, nothing is ever the same again.
Mhm.
When you look at your life, who was the most impactful person when you were around 5 or 6 that really influenced you, that made you feel good about yourself, made you feel loved and protected? Who's that person?
The first one is God.
No, I'm talking
But-
about a person now, not God, but an
Oh, okay.
individual. Yes.
An individual, I would say the first person, my husband right now.
No, he was not in your life at 4 or
Oh,
5.
he wasn't, at the time of this event.
No,
mentors.
not at this event. Listen to me, Linda. Listen to me.
Okay,
When you're around 4 or 5, Sandra,
yes.
4 years old, I want you to go back in your imagination now.
Mhm.
Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Good. Who's the person that you saw that made you feel good when you saw them? There's something about them that made you feel secure, that you admired them, that you wanted to be like them. Who's that person?
My mom,
What's her name?
Melba.
Mabel?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
Mabel. All right. Now, using a single adjective and an example, what's the first quality you admired about Mabel, your mother?
She loved me deeply.
You're saying that,
She was relentless.
hold just a minute, slow down. Okay. But you said something else first. You said love you. So
Yes.
she's loving, right?
Mhm.
Give me an example of how she demonstrated her love.
She left when I was less than 2 months old. And for many years, I grew up with my grandparents, and she was relentless to reunite with me, and I reunited with her when I was 4.
Got it. And when you say relentless, what did she have to do?
She left the country. She worked many jobs and many things that were really difficult for her at the time. Worked in places that she was captured. She was kept against her will, and she was able to escape. She was able to free herself. And yeah, this is I never ever had shared this before with anyone.
Hold it just a minute. Yes. Okay. And so she was relentless to get away, right?
Yes.
What's that third quality?
So she always saw the good on me, the best on me.
So give me a single adjective that will describe that.
She was a mom. She
Hmm?
was a mom. She was.
I know that. But give
I
me
know.
an
I'm trying to
adjective.
find
Something about her character. Yes, her character, personality. Yes.
Oh, she was tough.
Tough?
She was tough.
Okay, got it.
She had tough love on her too.
Okay, got it. Okay. If you wrote a book about your mother and
Mhm.
had a title that anybody, male or female, anybody who saw that title would be encouraged to want to get that for what they can gain from it, what would that title be? What that book that you would write about Melba?
An untold story.
And what would the subtitle be?
An untold story. A mother without limits.
Say again?
An untold story of a mother that has no limits.
Okay, so let me modify it, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Untold story. Live a life without limits.
I like it.
Okay. Hi, do you mind if I take a swing at it?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Sandra. I want you to think about your life and your goals and your dreams and what you want to do with your life in and out of the pandemic. Someone said that if you don't know where you're going to end up someplace else. I believe that we were created by the Creator to create. And there's a reason for us being here. And I want to share with you three things that really touch my life that I learned from my mother, Melba. In order to make it today, with all the stuff that's going on, with all the divisiveness and the hatred and the anger and the mixed messaging, all the stuff that's happening, the increase in violence, all the stuff that's going on. I want to share with you what I learned from my mother. I want you to write this down. Loving. Be loving. It's been said that God is love, and he who dwelleth in love dwelleth in God, and God in them. People that are loving turn to each other. People that are loving have a spirit of optimism. People that are loving, they have a choice between being kind and being right. They will always choose to be kind. My mother was a loving person, and Maya Angelou said that people don't care how much you know until they know how much. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And what I know about my mother, she cared about me. She cared about me. She wanted a better life for me. To such an extent, and it might sound like a contradiction, she is willing to make a sacrifice of not being with me for a period of time and allowed my grandmother to raise me. And then she came back. And it was not easy. She fell on some difficult times, but because, and I want you to write this down, as you look at yourself, not only must you be loving, but you got to be relentless. She was kidnapped and held against her will, but she was so determined to get back to me, to come back for me. I'm reminded of a man who was with this platoon, and they all went out to fight the enemy. And his best friend, when they got back, when they did a head count, his best friend, the leader of this platoon, his best friend was not there. And he said, I'm going to get him. And everybody said, no, we're outnumbered. No, you will be killed. No, he's probably dead. He said, I'm going to get him. Anybody going with me? And nobody raised their hands. And he got his rifle and his gear, and he went looking for his friend. And he found him. And then the next day, when they did a sweep and they found him and he was mortally wounded, They said, oh man, we told you, you fool. We told you he would be dead and you would get killed. And as he was holding his friend's lifeless body, he looked at the captain and said, do you know what he said when I found him? Captain said, no. He said, I knew you would come. I knew you would come.
Mm.
Is there someone in your life that you love so much and that you will be willing to sacrifice for, that you will be willing to go to the mat for, that you'll give your all for, that if something happened to them, they know you will show up. They know that they're not stoppable. My mother was a tough cookie. This time you must know that you will fail your way to success. There are a lot of people giving up, a lot of people surrendering. There were 47 million jobs lost before the pandemic to artificial intelligence. But there are some people, in spite of that, the untold story of greatness, the untold story of some people through finding something they love, through having someone that they are going to provide for and be there for. Nietzsche said, if you know the why for living, you can endure almost anyhow. There's some people, in spite of the pandemic, that are relentless and unstoppable, and there's something about them, their character, their strength, their resolve. Oh yes, these people, they find a way to win. That's my mother, Melba. And I say to you, as you look at yourself, gotta be loving, gotta be relentless in pursuit of your dreams. You gotta be tough. And there are a lot of people like you. You'll meet them on the path to your greatness. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Sandra, luckily this is being recorded and you can look
Oh
at
my
that
God.
and go, okay, there's a talk right there.
Thank
Sandra,
you.
what did you
Wow.
get from that, Sandra?
Oh my goodness.
What surprised you? What did you discover and what touched your heart?
I'm going to start with the last one. What touched my heart was a different perspective, a different level of forgiveness, even deeper than I never even thought I could have. I thought I was healed from all of that. But when I heard that story, I just saw pure love. So thank you for doing that. What I learned from that story was gratitude is the word that comes into my mind for your words, and for everything that has happened, and that every situation, everything that has played in my life had a reason, and that you gave me another level of awareness I did not have. So I'm deeply grateful for you for doing that.
Thank you. What's the next thing?
And I'm touched. I don't know how to express what I'm feeling right now. It's just beyond words.
Okay, let me share with you what speaking does in presenting. And I want everyone to write this down: distract, dispute, and inspire. How people live their lives is a result of the story they believe about themselves. And that this immersion process, that when you hear Craig, when you are listening to each other in the mastermind, you distract people from their self-explanatory style. And through the time that you spend together and relationships that you develop an awareness and experience that dismantle their current belief system and inspire them to become a pencil in the hand of God, to liberate themselves and create an exodus from a life of mediocrity, to get out of their head and into their greatness. There's purpose in this unity, in this mastermind. He said, where two or three are gathered in my name, name means nature, I will be among you. As much as you've chosen to be a part of this mastermind, you were chosen for it. I've gone over. They tell me I've gone over. I love Craig. Craig.
No, you haven't gone over.
Well, yes, I'm supposed to do a clubhouse or something now.
Oh,
but-
okay, yeah. So yeah, we said I said 45 minutes, and then if you want to take some questions, but
I
if,
went over.
if
Go-
you have,
let-
if
let's-
you have to go
okay.
to Clubhouse, I understand, man.
Yeah, you got my
They
iPad?
They got it all upstairs set up and,
What? Where? All the way up to the
there
third
was
floor?
if we tried to charge it, I couldn't do it right here. So we're charging that. I got it set up so you can go on Clubhouse immediately. Cause I had to set it up. It's a long story, but Vera and I did it.
I do apologize for
No,
going
it's okay.
over.
It's all
Yes.
good.
Raise your hand if you got value out of what I've
Oh my
shared
gosh,
with you.
Les, if you saw the comments, you would be blown away.
We love you, Mr. Brown. Thank you.
Everyone unmute for a second and just
Yes.
say thank you to Les Brown.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. It was awesome.
Thank you, Les.
Thank you very much.
You are amazing. You just touched my heart.
Thank
You
you.
made my day.
All
I-
right.
Les,
Brownie,
I know you got to run, buddy, but thank you so much again. Let's stay in touch. People, if you want to work with Les and have him do what he did for Sandra, just email him. It's in the
No,
chat.
why don't they email you and you can facilitate that and you'll send me the list. Would you do that for me,
I
Craig?
absolutely will, 100%.
I appreciate that. Thank
Love you,
all
buddy.
of you. I got a song I got to sing. I've got two mothers and I'm not ashamed. I've got two mothers and I love them just the same. Oh, you can't handle the voice. You will faint. Bye for now.
Bye, Les.
Thank
you, Les.
All right, so was that good? Was that good, everybody?
Oh my God.
Awesome.
Incredible.
You know, I wanted to do this while he was online. I put this somewhere online, and it was kind of like perfect for what he was kind of talking about. And it's this thing about perspective. Oh, someone's blowing their nose. That's beautiful.
That was me. I did my camera, but not the mute, so I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
So Craig, I sent you a picture of my
Okay.
whiteboard, so don't laugh at my scribbling, but it had exactly what he said to write down: distract, dispute, and inspire. So it's in the top corner of my whiteboard, the picture I sent you.
Oh, I'm looking at it now. There it is. Oh yeah, look at that. Distract, dispute, inspire. Very, very cool. So I just want to. Where is this? I just had it up. Well, where is it? It's so good. Is it there? No. Oh my gosh! It's about what the pandemic is right now. Why is this not happening? I just had it up. Oh my gosh.
Take a deep breath.
I know. I know, right? Oh, here it is. Okay, good. So it's about perspective. And I'm just going to read it. For a small amount of perspective at this moment, imagine you were born in 1900. When you're 14 years old, your World War I starts and ends on your 18th birthday, and 22 million people are killed. So in the first 14 years of your life, 22 million people are killed by the time you're 18. Later in the year, same year, in 1918, the Spanish flu epidemic hits the planet and runs until you are 20. 50 million people die from the Spanish flu, 50 million. When you're 29, the Great Depression begins. Unemployment hits 25%. Global GDP drops 27%. That runs until you're 33 years old. The country nearly collapses along with the world economy. When you turn 39, World War II starts. And then when you're 41, the United States is fully pulled into World War II. Between your 39th and 45th birthday, 75 million more people perish in the war. And then the Holocaust kills 6 million more people. At 52, the Korean War starts and 5 million people die. At 64, Vietnam War begins and it doesn't end for many years. 4 more million people die. Approaching your 62nd birthday, you have the Cuban Missile Crisis, a tipping point in the Cold War. Life on our planet as we know it could well have ended. Great leaders prevented that from happening. As you turn 75, the Vietnam War finally ends. So think of everyone that was born on the planet in 1900. How do you survive all that? A kid in 1985 didn't think their 85-year-old grandparent understood how hard school was. And those grandparents are now, they survived everything that was there. It's perspective. We're going through a horrible time. But like Les Brown just said, you know, if you can spin it and turn it into an opportunity, because we are figuring out how to do things from the house, how to make money online, how to interact with people for pretty much a very low budget, because you don't have to fly, you don't have to stay in hotels, you don't have to spend a ton of money to get your brand going. And I just think what he said today, for me personally, I said, I had another speaker lined up and canceled, and I totally understand that. And then I texted him literally at 8 o'clock last night. And I hadn't talked to him in probably 4 or 5 months, maybe even 6 months. And the exact words, because I said, he didn't just say yes, he said, absolutely for you. Absolutely for you. And I'm like, wow. And he literally texts back like in seconds. And then there he was this morning. I kept saying, oh my gosh, what if he forgot since last night? Because like it was late at night, you know, for him, it was later. And he was there. He was there with his mic on and mine was shut off. And then we started. So it was a blessing. Yeah. Yes, Joe, I'll get Tony Robbins next week. Come on. I mean, I'm good, but I ain't that good. But a lot of people put in the, Robert Seidel did and a couple other people. And I feel the same way, that this 1 hour was worth the whole investment for your mastermind. And if it wasn't, that's fine too, but really start going and really listen to. I'm going to put this up immediately. I'm going to put all the other ones up too. I've been a little lax in putting them up on the website. Watch it again and really I took so many notes. Refine us or define us, the pandemic. It's either going to refine us or define us. Brick and mortar to click and order. How beautiful is that? Brick and mortar to click and order. Gaps are from God. This is a little gap that we're going through. What you tune into, you turn into. I'm going to tell my kids that one. You know, what you're watching, this crap that you're watching in social media and stuff like that, if it's negative all the time and people are pounding, bullying people online and stuff like that, you're going to turn into that. What you tune into, you're going to turn into. And the Truman Show, that whole thing that he did on the Truman Show with Jim Carrey, and it ended with, why won't he go find his reality? And the guy that ran the Truman Show said, most people accept the life they've been given. And I just like, there were so many things that I wrote down. I have so many more, but you were there, so you heard them. So listen to it again and again and again, and really embrace it. You know, reminded why I continue to renew. Yes, Deanna, thank you so much. And here's the thing: Les Brown has been on my stage, I think 4 times. He's done this at least 3 times, and every time he comes on, it's a reminder, if nothing else, of what we can do and what we can accomplish in this life, and how we can inspire other people. Thank you, Tessie. It was a dream for me too. So it was wonderful to see you guys. I'll see you all next Tuesday. And thank you for a big attendance today. That was really, really, really great. And yes.
Thank you for making this happen. Thank you so much for making this happen for us. It was incredible.
Hey, Craig.
Yes.
One final thought from Randy Powell. I think for me and maybe others too, one of the most important concepts that he talked about was your defining moment when he was sharing with Sandra. And it really caused me to sit here. I was trying to keep up, but it really caused me to think back to in terms of, you know, where we came from in our history and what were those defining moments. My only question is, was there only one, or could there be several?
Bo Easton talks about this too. There are several defining moments for sure, but one usually stands out. And I think I can't speak for her, but I think that Sandra, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I think if that was a defining moment for you when your mother came back, I think because I think you said it, that went even deeper today with how he had described. It's amazing. He took your story and made it into a story by adding quotes and just made it life, you know?
It was incredible. I never thought about that moment, actually.
Oh, really?
And I have worked with Bo, and I have many stories that I developed through my defining moments, but I never went that far. I never went to 4 or 5. I started at 11.
But that's another great story. And if I were you, and I'm sure you're going to do this, watch this recording again and really listen, because man, he took the 3 words that you said and he turned it into a 10-minute call, which is just amazing.
It was.
He's going to bless us with a song now. He just decided to break into song. I love it.
It was amazing. Thank you, Craig.
Oh, thank you, Sandra. Jackson, great seeing you too, buddy. Great seeing everybody. I love when a bunch of people are on here. It just warms my heart to see all your loving faces. I keep hitting my arrow so I can see everybody's face, because I haven't seen you guys live for a while. All right, I gotta run. You gotta run. I'll see you all next Tuesday, and I'll put this up on the website. I'm gonna do it right now.
Great.
Love you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Craig.
you.
Hey,
Bye,
Craig.
everyone.
Bye.